Council meeting for August 20th, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams. Here. Councilmember Bamanto.
Here.
Councilmember Heenan.
Here.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Here.
Councilmember at-large Washington.
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If I can ask you to please remain standing for a moment of silence for retired Dunkirk Lieutenant James Heiderman, who passed away recently. Thank you. Assessor Malechko is excused this evening. Certification of the prior meetings.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting of Monday, August 5th, 2019 were presented to the mayor on Thursday, August 15th, 2019. Pursuant to Section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter, all items presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect. In witness whereof I have here to set my hand and seal of the city of Dunkirk, New York, this 20th day of August 2019.
Seeking a motion dispensing with the reading of the minutes.
So move.
Councilman Williams with the first.
Second.
Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Washington.
Aye. Reading of the privilege of the floor regulations.
The privilege of the floor shall be extended to any person appearing for themselves, in which case that individual shall be limited to 3 minutes, and to any person representing a group who shall be limited to 5 minutes. When recognized, please stand and state your name and address. The city clerk shall have the duty of maintaining such time limits, and the councilman at large may determine in his discretion whether individuals are speaking for themselves or representing groups. Councilman at large for Washington shall maintain good order and may require any speaker to cease speaking if remarks are made in bad taste or are slanderous or non-germane to any action taken or contemplated by council. The time limit specified shall be strictly adhered to, except that a speaker may be allowed to complete a statement or thought started before such time had expired.
With that said, privilege of the floor is now open. If anybody wishes to speak, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address.
Nancy Nichols, 212 Lincoln. Can you hear me? We had adjustments with the mic before. First and foremost, I'd like to say hats off to the City of Dunkirk's Rec and Youth Department. Through much turbulence and rough roads, Ryan Hall and Patty Plashewski once again came through with organizing and planning an unbelievable 5-week summer camp program for our city youths. This program teaches our children how beautiful and adventurous our great outdoors is. My granddaughter participated in the camp for the first time this year. She's hooked and will be a return participant next year. Ask me firsthand how I know. On the last day of camp for the week, camp counselors work very hard with the children to create skits. Parents, grandparents, or daycare providers could come up to camp and watch the performances. Watching the smiles on the children's faces as they performed was heart-stopping. After the skits, everyone enjoyed an ice cream social. As a city resident, I am proud to say we have a very youth-oriented rec and youth department. There are numerous events done by this department that go unnoticed nor not mentioned at all. Again, great job. Now, next, how saddened I am to see that the only time our city is spruced up is when a special event is coming to town. This should be an ongoing endeavor. I can't imagine how much overtime was utilized for all the sprucing up. And speaking of special events, one would think that the City of Dunkirk Harbors Commission should have or could have been invited to the ribbon cutting ceremony for our newly created dock. After all, they are the Harbor Commission and should be included in any activities involving the harbor. Also, whenever there is a ribbon cutting ceremony such as this, a time change could be made so that the tax-paying working residents could attend them, not just planned on city time. We just can't leave work or close up shop to attend them. Remember, this is our city. Shame on you. Lastly, it has been a year now since the huge front page press release regarding our building inspector being labeled as missing in action and all the allegations he was accused of made the headlines. I understand the situation has been resolved and he has been cleared of all alleged accusations that he was then accused of committing. I think it's about time that our city's elected officials make a formal front page apology to him and his family for the humiliation all of them were put through. As the saying goes, innocent until proven guilty. There was only one guilty person here. Remember, when the apology is given, say what you mean and mean what you say. I rest my case.
Thank you, Nancy. Anybody else wishing to speak, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address. Anybody else wishing to speak, please step forward to the podium and state your name and address.
Frank Beach, 11 Lakefront Boulevard. I just want to say a few words and thank the mayor and thank council and thank everyone who participated in the weekend activities. It was great. It was just a fun time, and there was a lot of things going on, a lot of music, a lot of activities, and a lot of participation from everyone, and that was well worth it. But I also want to thank, and I want to recognize Jeff Robinson, who put together the cleaning of the beaches. As you know, living on Lakefront, that's my front yard, so I really appreciate it. What he thought was going to be 4 or 5 people ended up being several, 75 to 100. Pretty much whether the council participated by a donation or by physically, they all participated, and the mayor was down there and everybody else. And I have gotten to know Jeff since then, and he is hoping, and I hope that the city will go along with the fact that he wants this to be an annual event and probably staggered and do it in a more often than he did this year. He is a committed person to our city. I think we need to recognize him in a more general basis. And also I want to thank the Chiefs for National Night Out. We were honored to be able to participate in that and play. And even though it rained a little bit, we still had a great crowd, and everybody really appreciated that. I think the city's going in the right direction. We got to continue to keep that ball rolling. And I think over the next few years, if we do it right, we're going to be very satisfied with all of the efforts that are being made by so many committed people. So thank you guys, each and every one of you. This is not a political thing. This is a community thing. So thanks.
Thank you, Frank. Anybody else wishing to speak, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address.
Jeanette Delgado, 321 Robin Street. I just want to say that since the ribbon cutting on Monday, that it's been a spectacular time at the pier. A lot of the shop owners actually did attend the ribbon cutting Monday morning, because it was actually earlier than some of them actually opened for business. Tuesday I went with my kids to go feed birds, and it was nice to see for the first time in a long time small children playing with their mothers in the grass area while others were fishing, which I've really never seen on the pier in my lifetime. Also with the Great Lakes Offshore Grand Prix that they had, they donated a large blue chair, which I think is awesome, because there's a lot of places that use those large chairs for photo opportunities, so it's very good for people to come and be able to take photos there. I took a photo myself. The weekend was spectacular. Sunday was great. I spent all day down there. I haven't had that much fun in Dunkirk unless it's a fair week, probably ever. So I want to thank everyone who pulled it together, and besides the weather and, I was worried about it being canceled at one point because of the choppiness of the water, but you know, it was great. All the firemen were out there, there's kids playing everywhere. It was a great experience. The fireworks were awesome. There was a lot of screaming at the end of them. They were so great. So I just want to thank you guys for all that. And one thing, I was just also concerned about the situation with the Robin Street Tunnel, being that it's going to start school soon, and where we were going with that as to getting it repainted, hopefully before too much into the school year starts, so the kids can walk through a cleaner environment. Other than that.
If you want to do it now, you can do it now, Randy.
Okay, sure. Jeanette, yeah, thanks for bringing that up again. Obviously, we had some things ahead of that. We have the material that's anti-graffiti that's going to be in there to do that. I think we want to follow the model that Jeff Robinson started. We had our unions endorse that. It is a delicate situation. We want to make sure that we respect the union collective bargaining agreements when we do that. We also have some railroad issues we've got to work through, but we agree that we want to get that done before school, but we don't want to have to do it again and again and again. If we can do it with the right material, we can wash it right off, because believe me, once we clean it up, it's within a couple weeks, somebody's going to put some more stuff on it. It's impossible to police that 24/7, 365. It's unfortunate that people do that, but we want to do it with the right material. We got some donations from council and stuff like that. We'll put it together. And we can emphasize that now. I think the movement for volunteerism that's joined by the elected officials rolling up their sleeves and putting their sneakers on too is a positive thing. We all work together and get it done, and get it done right the first time. So I'm all for it, and we want to get it done before school starts. Absolutely.
All right, that's very reasonable. Working with Vitalized Dunkirk, I know the railroad is a very tough situation to work with, so I'm very patient. I just want some kind of idea as to where it was going, and I thank you for your answer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jeanette. Anybody else wishing to speak, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address.
Hello, my name is Kathy Campola, and I live at 19 Lakeview Avenue in Fredonia. I just want to start out by saying the mayor and the city of Dunkirk has had an awesome, exciting week. Starting with Monday, the ribbon cutting at the pier was awesome, and seeing the pier up close and personal is truly a work of art. It's breathtaking. And also, it was the guest speaker was Kathy Hulkel. She had all these great things to say about the mayor, and she officially announced Dunkirk as a city of destination city. And that was just awesome. And then Tuesday at Chautauqua Suites, I don't know if any of you know, but the mayor was presented with an award for Business Leader of the Year. George Borello was there, county executive, to support him. And one thing I'd like to say about George, who I've known my whole life, and the mayor of Dunkirk, they truly have the same goal in mind, and that's the people, and they both support each other, which I think is wonderful. So, and then that was on Tuesday. Then Thursday was the reopening of the pier, and that was a great success. And then I know starting the weekend was kind of iffy with the offshore boat show, but with great success. The weather gave way, and it was truly, truly a success. And just like Jan said, it was amazing to see everybody line the shores to White Park, to the Point, Cedar Beach. It just was a great success, and Dunkirk should really be proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Anybody else wishing to speak, please step to the podium and state your name and address.
Judy Demansky, 18 North Jerboa Street. I've never been involved in this before, so I'll do my best. I'm concerned returning home and coming down Lakeshore Drive it's embarrassing. We had the boat race and stuff for people coming into the city and seeing a pedicure chair out in front on the lawn next to the taxi cab service. And in my own little Polish neighborhood, I have pictures of trash. I wish we could do something with landlords. I'm a landlord myself, but I'm proud of my property. And I hope I'm on the right track. Anything I can do to help clean them up, I'd like to do. What can the city do to help? I know I've talked to the inspector, and he's come over, and how long does it take for them to clean up the trash?
I can have him speak to that during commission, what am I trying to say? Reports of standing committees. he can answer your questions at that time.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
Okay.
it's been out there for over a month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Anybody else wishing to speak, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address. Jim, not this week? No? Okay. Last opportunity, anybody wishing to speak, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address. Seeing none, privilege of the floor is now closed. Communications from the mayor, including disapproval messages. Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, I just have two quick announcements. The first one is reference to the dog park. I'd like to invite the common council members and all city residents to come out to a ribbon cutting ceremony to celebrate the city of Dunkirk's new Hazelton Dog Park. The ceremony will take place next Friday, August 30th at 3 p.m. Please join us to recognize and thank all of the sponsors and donors that have contributed funds to make the park a reality in our community. And this past weekend, the city held our second annual Dunkirk's Great Lakes Offshore Grand Prix. The weekend-long event was another great success for our community and our local businesses. I would like to recognize and thank Hector Rosas and his Festivals and Events Department for their outstanding work organizing this event. I would also like to publicly thank all of our departments, including our DPW, police, fire, and development departments, along with all of our city staff and volunteers that helped make the event a tremendous success for our community. I just want to add to the council members that this event, again, the event to put on cost us over $100,000, and the taxpayers did not have to park one penny of that in to bring these boats here to the city of Dunkirk. I can't emphasize that enough. This event has been recognized by New York State, the I Love New York campaign, and they want to again do it next year. I think it's a very positive, progress here for the city, and it gives us recognition nationwide. The event has been marketed in all 50 states by New York State, and the city of Dunkirk is being recognized in all of the pamphlets and all the marketing material that the I Love New York campaign puts out as one of their events that they put out there to bring tourists to New York State. And that's basically all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Communications from the public and petitions. Number one.
Notice of claim from Casey Weaver for damages to her finished basement that occurred when the sewer drain allegedly backed up into her basement on July 7, 2019 at 2 a.m. She notes that she sent in a prior written notice on January 29, 2019.
Motion to refer this to the Law Department. So move. Councilman Williams with the first. Second. Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan? Aye. Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah Washington?
Aye.
Number two, notice of claim from Carol Schomper for damages that occurred when heavy rain allegedly caused sewage and rain to pour into her basement on July 7, 2019 at 3:15 a.m.
Motion to refer this to the Law Department. So move. Councilman Williams with the first. Second. Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan? Aye. Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah Washington?
Aye.
Number three, notice of claim from Marjorie Sulis for damages that occurred when floodwater allegedly came into her basement on July 1st, 2019.
Motion to refer this to the Law Department. So move. Councilman Williams with the first. Second. Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan? Aye. Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah Washington?
Aye.
Number four, notice of claim from Liz Mariel Vasquez Gonzalez for injuries that occurred when she was walking to Crosby and allegedly rolled her ankle in a pothole and fell on her left knee on August 11, 2019 at 4:45 p.m.
Motion to refer this to the Law Department. So move. Councilman Williams with the first. Second. Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye. Councilmember
Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan? Aye. Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah Washington?
Aye.
Number five, notice of claim from Carl and Debbie Wachowski for damages that occurred when the sewer allegedly backed up into their basement on July 7, 2019 at 6 p.m.
Motion to refer this to the Law Department. So move. Councilman Williams with the first. Second. Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah Washington?
Aye.
Number 6, prior written notice from Daniel Rayner stating that there is a problem with the sanitary and/or storm sewers in the vicinity of Swan Street and Lakeshore Drive West that have caused backups into his basement several times over the past 13 years.
This prior written notice will be received and filed, and I ask that it be entered into the spreadsheet log in the clerk's office to make it official.
Yes, sir.
Number 7,
Number 7, request from Lance Christopher on behalf of the Kosciuszko Club requesting the closure of Nevin Street to traffic between East Doty Street and the end of their parking lot for their cornhole tournament and the use of barricades on September 14, 2019 from 12 p.m. till 6 p.m.
any discussion, council? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So moved.
Councilman Civiletto with the first.
Second.
Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah.
Aye.
Number 8, request from Josh Latona on behalf of El Rigby Theater to use Memorial Park to host Movies on the Lake, a free event to the public on Saturday, August 24, 2019, from 5 p.m. until 1 a.m.
Any discussion, council? Need a motion to refer this to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
First.
Councilman Bamanto with the first.
Second.
Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah.
Aye.
Number 9, request from Josh Latona on behalf of El Rigby Theater to use Memorial Park to host Movies on the Lake, a free event to the public on Monday, August 19, 2019, from 5 p.m. until 1 a.m.
This was previously approved verbally. Therefore, we're just doing this now after the fact to make it official and to ratify it. Any further discussion? Need a motion?
So moved.
Councilman Williams. Councilman Bamanto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah.
Aye.
Number 10, request from Richard Goldstein on behalf of Variety, the children's charity of Buffalo and Western New York, requesting the Dunkirk Police Department provide 4 to 6 security personnel throughout the event and would like the Dunkirk Fire Department for this event to stand by in case of a firematic emergency of September 21st, 2019, 10 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Motion to refer this to the PBA.
So moved.
Councilman Civiletto with the
Second.
first. Councilman Williams with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah.
Aye.
Number 11, 12, 13, 14.
Yep.
Loudspeaker application from Lance Christopher on behalf of the Kosciuszko Club to use DJ equipment on September 14, 2019, from 1 p.m. till 5 p.m. Number 12, loudspeaker application from Josh Latona on behalf of the El Rigby Theater to use speakers at Memorial Park on August 24, 2019, from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. 13, loudspeaker application from Josh Latona on behalf of the El Rigby Theater to use speakers at Dunkirk Lighthouse on August 17, 2019, from 7 p.m. till 11 p.m. Number 14, loudspeaker application from Josh Latona on behalf of El Rigby Theater to use speakers at Memorial Park on August 19, 2019, from 7 p.m. till 11 p.m.
2 of these are in the past and were verbally approved by council at the time that they were needed. We're just going through the motions here in order to ratify them. I have also suggested in the future that Mr. Latona do a blanket loudspeaker application for the entire summer, so he doesn't have to keep coming back to council and possibly missing dates. So for next summer, if he could just do one for the whole entire summer, like the lakefront bars do, that would cover him all the way across. Any discussion? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer to the appropriate departments as well as approve, subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions.
So moved.
Councilman Williams with the first.
Second.
Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember Elijah.
Aye. Reports of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilman Williams.
The DPW committee will be meeting on Wednesday, August 28th at the City Barns at Lucas Avenue at 4 o'clock. If we're not allowed to get inside to meet, we'll do a stand-up meeting outside. The whole idea is to meet with the neighbors over at the City Barns on Lucas Avenue to find out what their issues are so that we could be maybe better neighbors to them there. So, like I said, if we're unable to have a sit-down meeting inside, we'll do a stand-up meeting and a walk-around outside on Wednesday, the 28th at 4 o'clock. Also, the council is scheduled to be on Viewpoints this Friday, the 23rd, at 8:45 a.m. Any of my fellow council members that wish to join me, be there around 8:30. Also, on Tuesday, the 27th of August, in the mayor's conference room, we're going to have a gentleman there to give a presentation on some website information. The Citizens Advisory Committee had given the city council a packet talking about different things that could be done to help improve and get better security for the city's website. So this is one step maybe. At least we'll get some information if we want to move somewhere else with it. That's, I guess, my announcements on it. I also would like to, what time? I already said I didn't say. That's at 5 o'clock on Tuesday, August 27th for the website discussion in the mayor's conference room. As a lot of people said tonight, the boat race was this past weekend. Enjoyed the bands, enjoyed the race. Got a little bit of sun on Sunday. Got pretty hot after the rain came. I don't know if people were expecting a lot more or a lot less or whatever, but I enjoyed it. I sat down at the end of my street. I looked left, looked right, seemed like people all over the place. I think it's a good thing to have a destination for people. There were a lot of people out that day, and it carried on into the evening, and it looked like people all enjoyed themselves, and I don't believe anybody got hurt that evening, so that's also a plus. Also, while we're talking about nobody getting hurt, I do recognize that between the city police department, fire department, and the city DPW, and I don't know who else was involved in all that was going on, they seem to work very well all together, intermingling to keep everybody safe, along with other agencies throughout the county. So kudos to everybody for keeping everybody safe. I'd also like to mention that a couple Sundays ago, I went for a walk with Mr. Fisher from Revitalize Dunkirk out on Battery Point, and I believe that Revitalize Dunkirk has got an effort to try to get some more clear pathways and stuff through Battery Point, and if anybody's interested, I'm sure that Mr. Fisher would arrange a hike for a group or a couple of people. My wife and I went with him, and it's a beautiful view. It almost looks like you're somewhere else because you look out and it looks like some shots from some movies looking out over the lake, so it looked pretty good out there. Randy, the weeds that are overgrowing on Main Street Extension, are we going to be getting to that anytime soon?
Yeah, you got a couple of invasive species that just keep getting bigger and bigger. You got Japanese knotweed down there, and you got the Australian Phragmites, and they just it's something that wasn't there even 10 years ago. And some of these species grow 4 inches a day, so we'll cut it down, and then we'll have to cut it down again, and cut it down again. It's the same type of invasive species that was behind the high rise we took care of. But I totally agree with you. This stuff is out of control. Something happened a long time ago to let this stuff in. It should have never happened.
Do we have a mowing program at all? Does anybody come through there with a mower to kind of knock some of the stuff down right on roadside?
Occasionally, the county will come through and mow it for us because they got a little bit better equipment for that. So between the two of us, we'll work it out.
Okay. Also, while I'm asking you questions, do we have a list for streets that are going to be paved? Do we have a plan on paving streets?
4 months ago at the DPW meeting, we revealed that list that the mayor was preliminary list. Mayor and I are going to finalize that.
So do we have a finalized list?
No, the mayor and I will finalize that list.
Okay.
But we intended to talk about it at DPW meetings, but really for the last 3 months, the DPW meetings are one subject only. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to the meeting next week. Again, that's going to be a one subject meeting, so we won't be able to get to the road thing. We won't be able to get to the wastewater plant that's important. We won't be able to get to North County Water District. I'm disappointed in that, but it is important that we address the concerns of the people on Lucas Avenue and help them as much as possible. So I'm all for that. but I want to do that as quickly as possible and then get to some of these other things so we can give you the finalized list. We really haven't been able to talk about it for 4 months because we've diverted our attention to one object.
All right, I don't know that we've ever needed a DPW committee meeting to finalize the list of streets that we're gonna blacktop. And there's residents on Oslot, Lemming, and Nevins that keep asking that their streets were supposed to be paved, or they've been told their streets were supposed to be paved. Last year, I think Nevins might have even been 2 years ago, that they were saying that it was gonna be paved, and they're still looking to be paved. So I told them I'd ask at this meeting and find out if we have a list and when we're gonna get something.
That's fine. It's my apology then. What I was looking for is input from the DPW committee. The mayor and I will take care of it, and then we'll give you the list. We don't want to hold it up. So the mayor and I will accelerate that list and give it to you. Me waiting for input from the DPW committee, that's my fault. I apologize for that.
Okay. Then, Mr. Campola, any word on what's going on over at the City Barns, or is that cleared?
I communicated with you last week or week before.
Yes.
I talked to the inspector from the state. He requested some additional information as far as accident figures and what type of accidents. It's like the OSHA log. We sent that information to him. He called, texted me back. He said that he received the information and a report was on its way to Albany for their supervisor's approval to publish it. So
Okay.
I would expect within the next week or two we'd have it back.
All right, and this was, how long ago were they
Last
here?
Oh, they were here, God, a month and a half ago.
Because in my experience with them, when they come to the county buildings, we have a report like within 24 hours from them.
No, he said that they're so short-staffed, and he explained the procedure to me, and it goes to 3 different supervisors before it can be published to the municipality. And after it's done with those 3 different municipalities, it has to go to Albany for their blessing or whatever. So I'm not sure we're talking about apples and apples here.
Okay. Well, we get safety inspections yearly, and usually.
This is the first time they've been to the Dunkirk barn in
Oh, okay.
12 years.
All right. Also, a couple positions that have been out there. What's going on with the building maintenance mechanic and wastewater operator trainee positions that have been posted since July 1st? Just wondering.
We're in the final review, and hopefully the recommendations will go to the mayor shortly, and we'll go from there.
All right, and do we have a plan on filling an open parks position?
The opening what?
An open parks position?
No.
The
Okay.
plan will be that we will be budgeting for that. We would like to hire another position there. We feel it's needed.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, this morning on my way out to a job that I was working, I was going up Brigham Road, and I saw our water maintenance crew on Lucas and Brigham, and they have a 2-man crew with a truck and equipment and one person jumping in and out of the hole to try to do things. There's still a position there that's open, available to be filled. I think it would help our water maintenance crew if we actually filled that position.
Well, the water maintenance crew can draw from the streets department anytime. All you got to do is request help from the street supervisor. We try to do that as much as possible. As far as the position being open, that's under review.
Okay. That's all.
Thank you, Councilman Williams. Councilman Bamanto?
Al, do you have an update on 37 West 6th Street?
Okay, yes. Actually, I was over there this afternoon. That's one of our properties that we routinely check as far as high grass, and it has been high for some time. A letter has gone out, and we'll follow up on that. Normally what we'll do, if nothing's been done, we'll send it to one of our outside contractors to be cut. But I'll verify that tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure that's where we're at.
Please keep me posted on that.
Yeah, I will do that.
This weekend I was also at the boat race, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. walking down the pier through Memorial Park, talking to all the people. I mean, they have, was well attended, but people are saying this is Dunkirk now, and this is Destination Dunkirk. I was hearing stuff like that, and I was hearing best kept secret in Western New York. And saw a lot of people there, and I saw them there multiple days. They bring their families, their kids. They say, hey, we don't got to pay $5 for parking. We don't have to pay to come in here. We can bring our own food and drink and beverages. They just loved it. Fireworks were fantastic. Again, it was well attended. We had didn't have the best weather in the world, but the sun came out, people came out late, and they enjoyed it. It was nice and hot. I'd like to thank the mayor. I know what you went through to get this organized. Thank you, staff, police chief, fire chief, DPW. It can go on forever. So thank you all. And also, we had a couple weeks ago, we had the beach bash. That was well attended. People were down there. I was there. I think Councilman Williams was there, and that was well attended. The sculptures was great. And then 2 weeks or the week prior to that, we had kids' night out. Rain again. People stopped raining. People came out. Chief, good job, both chiefs. And thank you very much. There's a lot of things going on in the city. I keep saying it. There's more and more coming. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Bamanto. Councilman Heenan?
Thank you. Randy, could you tell me if any city employees have been trained on the weed harvester, and if they have, how many times has the city used that weed harvester this year?
The city has not used the weed harvester this year. The training, I've been squared away on that machine, and so has our park supervisor, and we'd be able to train and do that. So I think we're going to figure out when and where, and whenever the mayor's ready to tell me to do it, I'll do it.
Okay, thank you. I have a question. I actually was talking to 5 people on Seal Street yesterday. They're very concerned that this project started last October, November. I talked to you probably maybe a few months ago. I'd have to go back and look through my records. That we were going to try to get this done as quickly as possible, and that the street was going to get a final topping, and we were also going to take care of the Central Avenue, Seal Street, where it comes into each other. Another thing that I noticed yesterday, we're starting to get, I'll call it a sinkhole or depression right along the shoulder of the road, where I actually took a picture on my way here that I can show you later on, where it's at least 8 inches. It looks almost as if the road would cave in, at least fall, knock off 6 or 8 inches off the shoulder of the road to the paved part. That's a concern. And there was a concern about, a question about if the water is going to be connected to the other side of the street. Now, the depression in the ground of the sinkhole, as I called, is at 29 Seal Street. And then at the end of the street on Fox, which is 50 Seal Street, there's an elderly woman that lives there, and I don't know how she mows her lawn, but somehow somebody does it for her. And it's disgraceful, to be honest with you, and that now we're getting towards the end of August, and this project's been going on for over 9 months now. And these people, I invite my fellow council people to please drive down there and just see it. I'm sure there's other places in the city too, but I've lived there 20 years. There's other people that have lived there a lot longer than I do, and I don't think this is something they should be subject to for this amount of time. And I invite any of you to go down there and please look at it. I just had a call actually before a workshop. There's a resolution concerning the sale of paper streets. And I told this person I was asked this question. He wanted to know what the policy is of the city with cutting trees on paper streets before they're sold or put through a resolution. Obviously, he says there was some trees cut there in the last 2 to 3 weeks on the streets that the resolution states. We don't have to answer any of those if you don't like to, but it was just a concern of this neighbor who had seen it and brought it to my attention a few weeks ago. I was not even going to bring it up, but this person did call me and ask if I would ask that question.
I'd be happy to check into it.
Okay.
Would you like me to address Seal Street for him?
Oh, yeah, if you'd like to, that's fine.
Yeah, sure. On the corner of Fox and Seal, that's part of a program we're doing with the development department on sidewalks, and we're going to make that look really nice. We have to make one final connection, so there's a loop service to Seal Acres. All those hydrants, instead of the one on the corner of Seal Street and Seal Acres, is a Class B fire hydrant. The new fire hydrants are Class AA hydrants. The one near your house is a Class A hydrant. We want all those hydrants to be Class AA hydrants, so we need to do a little bit more work there. We've been in touch with that person, so they understand, and they would like to have their driveway widened at the same time we do the lawn restoration there. So we're going to be working with them. They don't want their lawn disturbed twice, so they want to widen their driveway and then have it all. We're getting a quote together to do that work together. So that's the corner of Fox and Seal. I totally agree with you, but we've been in communication with them, showing them that the ultimate result's going to be better. My recollection is that I told you we'd have this thing done by the end of summer. I got a few more weeks. We're going to get her done. And our water maintenance crew did an excellent job on the north side. That sinkhole that you're talking about could be a result of some of the work we did or some of the work the contractor did. I'm going to go take a look. I would like to tell the public that when you see a sinkhole, don't wait until a council meeting or something like that. Call the police department, 366-2266, the police desk. Sometimes we need to respond to these things immediately. We'll put a cone on it, we'll cordon it off, we'll do whatever. So right after this meeting, I'm not going to wait 1 second. I'm going to go take a look at that right now, put a cone on it, and get our crews. If it's dangerous, I want to know right away.
There's a cone on it now, just
okay.
as you see.
And you're knowledgeable, so if it would have been more dangerous, you would have called me. I know you would have. So I'm just telling in general that when people see holes, let us know quickly. Now we're going to have to contract out the north side because we don't have the right tools to push under the road and then make that final connection. So I think we're going to be on target for summertime, September 21st. So I got a couple more weeks.
Okay, that's what I can tell them. Is that correct?
Yes.
That the street will be completed by the end of summer.
That's what I told you before, and I'm going to stand by it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, that is it. This is just a few statements that I'd just like to make, and I thank everybody who came down here to the boat races and to have a good weekend down here, as it sounds like most did. If anybody would like to read how the boating community feels about the city, there's a offshoreonly.com, and they speak very highly of the residents and the city. And they also go through some of the things. They had some setbacks also this year, but they really enjoy coming here. I did come across an article in Michigan City, Indiana, which is a suburb roughly about an hour from Chicago that has short of 3 million people. They have a 4-day festival, and they're in their 11th year, and they're getting 135 to 150,000 people and more than 50 racing teams. I might add that this is also run by the LaPorte County Convention and the Visitors Bureau, not the municipality itself in Michigan City. Looking at how to increase some of our things here, as I do sit on the DLDC board, and I am a council member like the rest of us. I think the council has the right to make a comment on this. Some of my suggestions are to increase our attendance here. We do put some high numbers on there, and then we become disappointed because we didn't reach them. And we do also put some high economic impact numbers that are not attainable. But one of my suggestions would be to hiring a professional marketing company that specializes in this type of event to market a $200,000 event. We need more help. Maybe we do already have a marketing agency. I'm not sure of that, but it's much more than any one person can handle. The other one is hiring a firm that does a marketing analysis, which Michigan City does. It's called Surtech. They're from Lexington, Kentucky. And I read that they estimate the attendance and all the race-related events along with the economic impact of the area, not just unverifiable numbers that we throw out there. And I think that's very important. And I think if this event is to try to continue and sustain itself past 2020, these are some real serious things we need to look at. People thoroughly do enjoy being here. But I am glad people are here. And there's one more thing, and maybe we've taken this into account, and maybe we haven't. I've spoke about it several times. I think it would be very important, again, this is my opinion only, that we try to find another date for this event as far as the scheduling. our neighboring county, Erie County, with its Erie County Fair, is one of the top 5 county fairs in this country. And in the last 3 years, out of the last 2 out of 3 years, they've had over 1.2 million people in attendance, with this past year being record-setting. And that's a lot of people. And it's 12 days, and it overlaps what we do. And, you know, an average daily would, you know, we'd work that out to 100,000, but we do know some of those days are probably 80, some are 90. But when it comes to that final weekend of the fair, I think we could really be thinking that there's 450 to 500,000 people going to Erie County Fair during those 3 or 4 days. And I think that's a big draw of people that are not going to be attending Dunkirk, New York boat races, and to bring more people in here and try to bring some of those numbers back into in line with some of the numbers that we throw out there. But with that being said, again, these people really do love it here. Ashland's got Spike Dailies down there. They love coming in there and supporting the boardwalk and all the area business. You know, on that end, there's a lot of great stuff to say about it. On the other end, you know, what I've just said, I hope we take that into account, and the people that make those decisions will maybe take those into consideration. So with all that said, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Heenan. Councilman Civiletto? No.
Excuse me. Can I?
No, we're going to move on. Councilman Civiletto?
Just note that for the record. He's not allowed to speak. Just wanted to thank all those involved in the Race World Offshore races this weekend, all of the municipalities and agencies that came together. All of our departments did a fantastic job. I saw Silver Creek out there helping us. I saw a lot of different county departments helping us, the federal and state different departments helping. So it was fantastic to see all of them working together to keep us safe and to make sure that this is great. Congratulations to everyone involved in putting that Race World Offshore together, and also to congratulations to everyone putting together the pier renovations. I know it's been a lot of work for 2 years, and hearing a lot of back and forth, and we got it done, and you guys did a fantastic job. I want to speak a little bit to what the councilman said about marketing. I know we do have the I Love New York. That's over $100,000 that they gave us for marketing. So we do have a professional marketing. May not be specific to us, but another thing that was mentioned was how the county in what's the name of the city? In Indiana? Michigan City. How their county stepped up and did that. Just want to put it out there. I don't believe, in my opinion, our county stepped up as much as they could have. But I do thank for them for what they did do. I know last year it was kind of like pulling teeth to get the county to support us in that regard. And a lot of these suggestions that were made just a couple minutes ago, don't know where these suggestions were a year ago. I'm just, we know that the county fair, that Erie County Fair, is the same weekend every single week, every single year. Now we've done it twice, and those comments weren't made. So I'm just kind of trying to understand where this is coming from after the fact, especially when we're at all the Economic Development Committee meetings, and that's where all of this planning has been talked about. But beyond that, congratulations to everyone who has made this weekend and this week a rousing success, and I look forward to the dog park opening, and thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Civiletto. The only thing I have is for Alan. Mrs. Demansky asked during her time on the floor about a chair that has been left out on Lakeshore Drive next to the cab company for quite some time, and I can attest, I have seen the chair out there. Was wondering whether or not that's on your agenda, or you're aware of it?
Yeah, Glenn Christner actually took action on that last week. We were not aware of that, at least not that I was. So Mrs. Demansky brought that to our attention, so I know Glenn took it out, actually looked at it, and most likely what we do is tag the item and notify the owners, and if they don't comply, we have, we'll make arrangements to have that picked up, and then I do believe the resident or owner of the property is billed for that service. But if we do make contact with them, we do advise them that the city does provide a service to pick that up for a nominal fee. All they have to do is contact the city clerk's office and make arrangements to have those items picked up.
Okay.
So I will follow up on that tomorrow just to verify that it's
Okay.
picked up.
Thank you, Alan. Did you hear that, Judy?
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Unfinished business, none. Pre-file resolutions, number 77.
Resolution authorizing agreement for consultant services for NRG power plant redevelopment alternatives and feasibility study.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Washington.
Aye.
78, resolution authorizing budget line modifications for fiscal year 2019.
Any discussion, council? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan?
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Washington.
Aye.
79, resolution authorizing sale of two paper street parcels to Dunkirk residents.
Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Washington.
Aye. Any new business or walk-ins? Seeing none, motion to adjourn.
So move.
Councilman Williams with the first.
Second.
Councilman Civiletto with the second. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Heenan.
Aye.
Councilmember Civiletto.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Washington.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. You know why I said no, right? You know why I said no, right? Because I don't want to do the political thing. So I'm just nipping all that in the bud.